Hey there, welcome to LSAT Demon Daily. I'm Nathan Fox, one of the founders of LSATdemon.com and the weekly podcast Thinking LSAT. Today I have with me LSAT Demon teacher Josh. Josh, we're looking at an email here from Charlie with an interesting subject of GPA farming.
Hi, I currently have an all right GPA, 3.78, and I'm ahead on my history and economics double major. Would taking a lot of easy A+ classes unrelated to my course of study in an effort to be more competitive over the summer reflect poorly to the T14? How
Nope.
do the most competitive schools feel about GPA farming?
Well, I've never heard anybody refer to GPA farming before.
Either.
It's like a video game reference, right? But it actually seems like a pretty savvy thing to do. You know, T14 law schools want winners on the LSAT and winners in your undergraduate grades. 3.78 is not great for the T14. So if you can get a bunch of easy A's and A pluses, if A pluses are available at your school, you need to be getting A pluses. Get a bunch of A pluses to drag that 3.78 up, because the top 14, that's more like 3.88 or 3.98 than it is 3.78.
And that's not even looking at scholarships, right? Like 3.78 is going to be tough about getting into some of these schools, let alone, how much is Charlie going to be paying? So
Exactly.
Absolutely. And, I think an easy thing too, I can't imagine a world where anybody asks you a question about it. But if you do, yeah, I thought it was interesting. I learned a lot from this. Right. Like,
oh yeah, they're never going to ask you. They don't care.
They don't check. They're going to look at the number. So I don't see any
Exactly.
world where this reflects poorly. The one thing I do want to bring up, and because Charlie doesn't mention what year in school he is, it is important to note, if you get awarded your bachelor's and then try and take classes, that's not going to change your GPA. So he mentions doing it over the summer. You can't have your bachelor's at this point, though. So make sure you're not graduated. Right. You still need to be earning your bachelor's in order for those to count.
Yeah, and sometimes it might even be sensible to do a 5th year of school, or take a year off, go to a community college to pad your GPA, because these top schools, they're competing with other top schools, and US News is going to in part rank them based on their median GPA. So right now, Charlie, you're going to be bringing down the median GPA at the entire top 14. And you want to try to fix that as much as possible. You also want the right LSAT, because you can get into these schools as a splitter. If your LSAT's above their median and your GPA is below their median, they might be willing to make a spot for you, or even give you scholarship money, depending on how close you are and how good your LSAT is. But for now, GPA first. You only get one chance at your undergraduate GPA. And like Josh said, it's just up until that point where you earn your bachelor's. When you earn your first bachelor's, your GPA, your undergraduate GPA, is pretty much set in stone. And it's important that you get nothing but A's and A pluses from here on out. If that means that you need to pump the brakes on whatever LSAT studying you might be doing, good. Stop. Unsubscribe from LSAT Demon right now and work on your grades. If it means you need to put the applications on hold, yeah, absolutely. You have no business applying right now. You should be working on your grades, then your LSAT, then applying. Last thing I might say is that you mentioned a double major in history and economics. That's great, but you're not really going to get any kind of an admissions boost out of being a double major. And if there are hard classes in economics that you haven't taken yet, like if they're going to make you take a high level calculus class or some like high level statistics or computer programming or whatever, if there are classes that are there that might be hard to get A's and A pluses, you could always drop that econ major. Or same thing, if there are hard history classes that you can't get an A in, you could always just drop that extra major, because the double major is really not going to move the needle. It's certainly not going to make up for a GPA that's below their median. So I would do whatever it takes to get that GPA as high as possible for the T14.
Once it's closed, it's closed. So focus up.
Thanks, Charlie.
Email daily@lsatdemon.com if you'd like to ask us a question or share some LSAT or law school admissions news. Thanks for listening.